So decimal equations, right? So when solving equations with decimal, we're going to use the same process to get the variable by itself. And then remember, we can always use a calculator. So that should make this a lot easier. Example 1. So the temperature in town A, right? So it's 10.5 degrees and it's falling 2.2 degrees every hour. So that's why it's negative. Then in town B, far away, it's, right, so it's 4 degrees, and then every hour is changing by 3.5 degrees. So we're going to solve for the hour when they're equal. So let's go ahead and solve. So notice we have, right, the variable on both sides. So the first step will be to get that by itself. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how we can do it differently than we've done before. So we're going to go ahead and subtract the 3.5h on both sides. So we're going to get a negative h on the left-hand side. Usually I like to make it positive, but we're going to try it different so you can see how we can get to the same answer at the end. So this just becomes, right, 0, and we're left with 4 on the right-hand side. Now we can go ahead and go negative 2.2 minus 3.5. So let's get our calculator. So we have negative 2.2 minus 3.5. So that is equal to negative 5.7. And that's in terms of h, and then plus 10.5. Now our next step, right, is to continue to get h by itself. So in order to do that, we're just going to go ahead and subtract 10.5 to both sides. Right, because it gets rid of it on the left-hand side, so that's just 0. And then we're left with just negative 5.7h plus 0, so that's just, right, negative 5.7h. Then we have 4 minus 10.5, which is negative 6.5. Feel free to get the calculator out and make sure you can do that if you don't see that, right, because we can use our calculators now. Now we need to get this h all by itself. And so in order to do that, because we're so close, we just need to go ahead and divide by negative 5.7 on both sides. This becomes positive 1, because a negative over a negative, right, being divided by, becomes positive. So the same will be on the right-hand side. A negative being divided by a negative becomes positive. So let's get our calculators out. We have 6.5 divided by 5.7, and we get 1.14, as we're just going to round the nearest hundredth, so the second decimal. So example 2, we're going to use the equation below to solve for x. So how do we do that? So let's go ahead and rewrite this. Notice, before we go ahead and do anything, let's go ahead and get rid of this 2 by multiplying it out. So we're going to go ahead and multiply it by the 4.95 and then times this 2. So let's get the calculator out. So 2 times 4.95 is equal to 9.9, and that's x. 2 times 2 is 4. We keep that subtraction sign. Now, let's go ahead and start moving our variables to one side. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 3.5x to both sides. This just becomes 0 on the one-hand side. 9.9 minus 3.5. Well, 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 3 is 6. Keep the decimal. So then we have 6.4 minus 4. Oh, there's an x there. Then the next step would be to add 4 to both sides. Right, because then this continues to get x by itself. So we're just trying to get x by itself on one side. So that becomes 0. On the right-hand side, we're left with 8. And then we have 6.4x. What's our next step? Well, we need to go ahead and, right, we need to go ahead and divide. So we divide by 6.4. This becomes 1. Then we have it like that. So x is equal to 8 over 6.4, or 8 divided by 6.4. So 8 divided by 6.4, and that is equal to 1.25. So x is equal to 1.25, which is 8 divided by 6.4.